Hello friends, welcome back to the new tutorial of the Angular. Today we are going to learn about the host binding. Host binding allows you to bind a property of the component class to a property or attribute of the host element. So what do you mean by the host element? Let's take an example. So host element, basically this is your selector. So the selector, if the component is used in a parent template like this, so this would be your host element, right? And let's take check out the example. For the component, the host element is the element corresponding to the component's selector. Okay, so the component selector would be your host element, and host element in the Angular refers to the HTML element in the DOM where a component or a directive is applied. It acts as the root container for the component's template or the element that the directive is modifying. So this is what the host element. So let's take an example. Host binding allows you to bind a property of the component class to a property or the attribute of the host element. This means you can dynamically change the host element property such as class, style, attributes. So take an example like binding a CSS class to the host element. So I'm going to add a class. Okay, whenever there is a button, when I click on it, it will add the class. When I again click on it, it will remove the class. So this functionality I'm going to create it. Let's create a button that dynamically apply an active class when the button is clicked. Okay, so already is there. So here we have the code. Let's understand the code also. So here you can see that the host binding. Okay, so in here the host binding class dot is active dynamically binds the active CSS class to the host element based on the return value of the active class getter. Okay, so whatever the active class getter is getting, so return that one, whether it's to be a active or inactive, because is active by default is false. If it is true, then add the class. If it is not, then remove the class. Okay, so this is what the toggle active is doing. This dot active, not this dot active. Whatever the is active is currently, like suppose it's true, so reverse that one. Not means reverse false, always just do the reverse. Is active is a private property. This one is the private property that controls the state. The toggle active method, this is your method, toggles the state which updates the active class dynamically. Let's have a look. So reload this. Okay, so currently if I go and inspect this, so this is app root class, right? Okay, and bind the button. So when I do the toggle click, active class is added. Okay, so if I go and just add the, here you can see that there is active class, right? So background red. Okay, so basically the button would come over here dot active button. Okay, so when the toggle class is added, so button is here you can see that the active is there. If I remove it, so active is removed. When I again active, so it's red color is again coming up. Okay, so this is how you are using the host binding, right? So this is our HTML. Button click toggle active. Okay, and the component private is active, bind the class is active to the host element to this property, and here we have to import the host binding in the Angular core. Okay, and that's it. So this is how you can implement the host binding. Next video with the host listener. After this we have an Angular new feature, that is the host part, host decorator. In the component decorator we are using the host where we can apply the is active class with another method, right? So this is again in the backward compatibility because still the users are using that one. Okay, so in the Angular 19 we have the host property, we will discuss later on. Any doubt, any query in that, do let me in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.